Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Giga Geeks podcast. I am your host, the Giga Gamer Dad, and with me tonight I have DC the Trash Panda. How are you, Panda?
We're alive today. We're alive.
And Liam, welcome back. It's been a while. How have you been, brother?
I have been all kinds of things, and not any of them is a really good excuse for why I've been gone. But I'm back.
Hey, life be life,
we
brother.
yeah, life sucks sometimes. So I'm glad to just have you back.
It's going good right now.
Yee.
So what's everybody been doing lately? I know Panda, you downloaded that, what was it? The One Lonely
The
Outpost here, right?
yes. And then the ship landed, and then I switched to Fortnite. I haven't touched it since. My hair, yes, my hair is blonde.
And what about you, Liam? You been playing anything good?
I have been going nuts on the entire Halo series with my best friend,
Mm.
and let me tell you, couch co-op, it never gets better. I mean, gaming never gets better than couch co-op. It's just that's what it is.
I
Sit
mean,
on the
as I've
couch
gotten
eating
older,
garbage
the
next to
less I
your
want to see anybody.
what?
Yeah.
Bro, when you
I mean,
can
I'm
land a plasma grenade on your best friend's head in the game and he complains about it, and then you get to slap him in the face in real life immediately afterwards.
I'm sure couch co-op will be great once my kids are old enough to hold a
That's
controller.
fair. That's fair.
Which is funny because I just bought another one of these
Oh,
as a
geez.
backup.
Get
Because
everybody sitting together on the couch.
I have to send my other Elite in because of stick drift, and it's finally starting to get annoying. But my birthday was Saturday, so I got a few bucks from then, and I
Hell
was
Oh,
like, you
yeah,
know
happy
what,
late birthday.
I'm gonna pick up another core because I already have all the accessories, so might as well have a backup. So once I send that controller out, I'll have this one to play with. And I downloaded Atom Fall. Haven't touched
Ooh,
it yet.
how's that been? Oh.
I haven't touched it yet. I
So you
bought
and
it.
I both.
It released yesterday. The reason why I haven't touched it yet is because I haven't had a lot of time uh playing video games that I have had that wasn't holding a kid. And with Adam Fall, it's going to be that narrative experience I want to pay attention to. So I've
Gotta
been
lock
playing
in.
Starfield. Yeah, I've been playing Starfield because I've beaten that game to a dead horse so much I can tell you the dialogue for every single mission out there. So it's just one of those things where I had a bunch of mods in there, sorted out the mods, and kept playing that instead. So
I bet there's a whole philosophy behind that statement.
yeah, mods suck, break your game, but they make it so
Oh,
much better.
I
I'm
bet I
So,
set it up for you. You could have hit the hunter's dialogue from
ah, I know,
my
I
boy.
know. I am.
so now that I think
I have
about
a
it, sorry. Um,
yeah.
I did re-download Anthem.
Okay,
Oh
okay.
I'll
my
play Anthem with if you
gosh.
want.
I have
Bro.
Anthem still installed. It's installed on my 12 terabyte.
Yeah, I just reinstalled it and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like I why did I ever uninstall it?"
The
Well,
But now I have two new missions, so I'm like,
the deep lore of Anthem made me just about pull my hair out because of how much it upsets me. But the gameplay is awesome, and I would love to play with you
gameplay was
guys.
fantastic. Yeah, I
"Oh
was
yeah."
talking to a buddy about Destiny and how I stopped playing Destiny 2 because they
Removed the game
didn't.
from the game.
That's exactly it. They took out content and prevented you from going back to replay the game. Like for me, I like to go back and like replay games when I haven't been in it in a while or
Yeah.
restart a character. And in Destiny 1, you could do that. You could go back and still access everything that they ever released for it. But D2, they've gated and locked previous content behind the walls and they only release it maybe during different seasons, and I stopped. Like they lost the devoted player because they fucked that up.
You say sunsetting, I say commercial malpractice.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Sunsetting is a term for closing a game down. Malpractice is me stepping away because they fucked up.
It's like I sincerely have no idea how our legal system has gotten so stupid that they can sell you a game and then unsell you the game after you've purchased it.
I mean, I think the legality
Cutting
of it
service is
is
one
that
thing.
they vaulted it. Like it's still there, but they have to like vault it, maybe take it off a server to make room for more stuff. I don't
Yeah.
know what the process is, but it's still like stupid that I can't go back
It's
and replay the
nonsense.
Red War.
So can I have my $60 back while I wait until you guys give
60?
me back the $60 worth?
I have bought every DLC for that game. I want the grand I spent in it
I
back.
want my $1,000 of
Jesus.
Destiny 2 back while you have Destiny 2 in your pocket waiting for me.
God.
You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah. I'll foam at the mouth if we get me worked up on this topic.
yeah. So let's move on. So because it's been quite a week, and one of the biggest news stories out of this week
Ooh.
has been from The Vice by Matt Vatanka. Cat's out of the bag.
Good old
Microsoft
Vice.
accidentally revealed Steam games may be coming to your Xbox console. Now I know it's been speculation, but what happened basically was in a blog post today. This was, let's see, March 20th, so a few days ago. Last Friday, I think, right? No, Thursday. In a blog post today, Microsoft details its plans to further incorporate Xbox into every device possible, describing it as opening a billion doors. The company discusses its vision to allow gamers to play how and when they want, with the ability for a seamless transition between devices, amongst other features. In an image revealing an upcoming UI update for Xbox consoles, a tab labeled Steam is visible between other gaming libraries, indicating a possible plan for Xbox consoles to play Steam games.
Pardon me for just a moment while I mute my mic and screech like a baboon in my house.
How do you know what a
Now, why?
baboon sounds like?
I assume it sounds like Liam Patton jumping and screaming for joy because he gets to play video games on other things than the computer.
You know, and that's the biggest
so we're
thing.
being more like
'cause-
Rafiki. Got it.
Oh no, I'm going full ass
well, the
deep
reason-
Congo.
the Discovery Channel. Yeah,
I'm going
exactly.
full Discovery Channel.
The reason why this has been big in the news is because there's a lot of speculation that PlayStation will try to block the fact that Xbox will have access to their games, which I highly doubt will happen. And because they won't have a grounds for it. They release it on Steam just because Steam will be playable on something else, such as like a Steam Deck or a PC or a tablet or anything else, doesn't mean that they can't. If they take it away off Steam, then you take it away off Steam. If you want your exclusivity, keep it on PlayStation.
There are,
And it just makes me so happy on the inside because we're finally moving to because as we all know, I don't care where you play. I just want you to be able to play games.
Spaghetti-O, somebody muted.
Who muted?
Can't hear you, buddy.
Can you hear me, Panda?
I hear you.
Liam, maybe you muted your.
What happened?
You muted.
Everyone
maybe
just
you
yell at
reset it.
Liam.
All right. We all know Liam has technical difficulties, so he'll come back here in a second. My buddy Russell, he says, I don't think so either. Now, Nintendo will never give up their titles. Here's the thing. Nintendo, you're right, will probably never give up their titles. However, they are also still a niche market. Whereas most adults typically play on something such as a PC or a more dedicated console. And I'm not saying the Switch is bad. However, if you look at their library compared to what is released on everybody else's libraries, There's more adult content everywhere else, and that's the people that play. The people with the disposable income. Like, yeah, I like the fact that my kids will be able to play a specific console and they won't be bombarded by the bullshit that we are. However, I would never want to play Call of Duty on a Switch.
There's a
Never.
handful of games that I don't think I could ever play on the Switch. Like, the convenience of it sounds great, but I'm blind.
Mhm.
Like, I don't think I could play Hogwarts or Skyrim. It just
And
doesn't seem appealing to me, if
mhm.
that makes sense. It's just
And
not.
uh, what I was saying before is I like the fact now, other than Nintendo aside, that I will be able to play all my games in one place.
Place. Yeah.
Potentially. Because we had the discussion here maybe a few episodes back where I get tired of buying multiple copies of a game.
Yeah, I don't know
Especially
how
for a
you
game
can fathom
I'm
doing that.
obsessed with. I mean, for Skyrim, for instance, I have that on my Switch. I have that on Steam, so I can play it on my Steam Deck. I have it on my Xbox. Fallout 4 is the same way. Starfield is the same way. The Outer Worlds, like
Did
there
you
are
ever get
games.
Skyrim for the 360? Because I mean, that's on disc.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't have that disc anymore. I mean that's an instance where I bought
But
the
you
game
still
for a
pay
different
the
time.
money for it. Yeah.
Exactly. And not only that, when the upgrades released, like I bought those for the Steam Deck and the Xbox, which was like another $10 charge. Like I'm tired of spending money on games I already
Just
own.
wanna- Yeah. It's like, how many more times can I own this thing? I already own it.
Now, I can understand the whole $10 to upgrade to like the remastered versions. For instance, PlayStation
Yes.
has Horizon Zero Dawn, and they've done a few. I think they've done a few other games, but Horizon Zero Dawn literally just had a remaster come out for it, and they charge $10 for the upgrade. So totally, yeah, fine, fuck
I
it,
could
take my money.
fathom doing that, yeah.
But I'm not going to spend $60 to get a game that came out maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Liam, you're back.
You're back.
God, I love technology.
It's so
We
great.
know. Did you catch any of that?
No, I caught hands from my computer.
Oh, what I was saying is that just like you were saying about the autistic screaming, screeching, the happiness, the joy of being able to play all your games in one place, like that's what I am looking forward to with this next gen console. If it's a thing,
basically a PC.
yes, because I mean, basically, PlayStation and Xboxes now are PCs in their own right. I mean, you're not going to be able to build a PC with the same capabilities as an Xbox or a PlayStation at the same price value.
I now remember the
Wait.
bomb that I was about to drop before my computer cut me out of the stream.
Yes.
Oh, what confused you, Panda?
I was
let Liam finish. What do you got?
Go,
Liam?
Liam.
I was gonna say there are roughly 2 or 3 different platforms that are acceptable for gaming. There is PC, Xbox,
Mhm.
and businesses that are only in business because of really good lawyers.
Very,
I mean,
very well put.
back in the day, PlayStation like earned their reputation with things such as like Tomb Raider, God of War,
Hell yeah.
Final
all
Fantasy.
Sly Cooper, like games like that, like games that actually made you want to play their platform. And now it seems like all they're doing is pumping out these cinematic masterpieces. But like, where's the game then in that? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to play a movie. I want to play something that I can lose myself in trying to have fun. And I'm not saying that these games aren't fun. I'm just saying that they're overhyped. They
Yeah.
they have to port these things over to other platforms because the exclusive bit of it now is a dying thing. Like they're losing money because they're spending so much money to make these games.
Well, it's like, you know how much better, you know how much more profitable PlayStation would be if they just committed to being a filmmaker and quit doing all the Xbox selling and mimicking. If they
Yeah,
just
didn't
made
they?
movies out of this stuff, they'd be.
They actually have a really good movie studio too. I was watching an
Wait, like,
animated movie the other
seriously?
day, and it said Sony. Yeah, like
Yeah, no,
Sony
that's
produces
fantastic.
like animated movies, and they're fantastic. But the issue being is like
That's not
they're
games.
not they're not big properties.
Huh.
Just
You
make
learn
movies.
something new every week.
Just make movies.
Russell
See,
says I'm
now
hitting
I
his
forgot what I
tism.
was confused about.
This is the battle of the tisms.
I'll win.
But
I'm
I
trying to
mean,
remember what you said about consoles and PCs, and now it's
about the
it's
price
gone.
difference.
Well, no, it's
You cannot build a PC for $600 that will match the same performance as a PlayStation or an Xbox.
okay. So that's what it was like. So then, what's the point of having a PC other than
Think of it as a Swiss Army knife versus a K-bar. A PC can do all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff. You can do whatever you want on a PC. I can't participate in this stream from my Xbox, but an Xbox just works. You just plug it in and turn it on, and it's going.
right?
And that's the appeal to a lot of gamers. Like for myself, I would love to have a gaming PC. The XPS I'm working on right now has 4 terabytes, 64 gigs of RAM, and an i9. Like it can do pretty much anything I want it to. But the issue is I don't want to sit here at my desk and game. I want to sit in
I
my
want to like lay
chair.
back.
I want to be able to push a button and go right into the game and not mess with settings. And that appeals to a lot of people. The reason why the Steam Deck is such a success is because it has a console-like overlay. It has
Right.
that front door that is basically, hey, download your game, buy your game, play your game. You may have to tweak settings, but that's not a big deal. Typically, if it's considered Steam Deck verified, it will already automatically have the settings there for when you load the game, such as Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk has Steam Deck settings for the game. So when you boot it
Cyberpunk
up on a
mentioned.
Steam Deck, it loads up into your Steam Deck
Cyberpunk mentioned.
with the settings. Yeah. Liam,
Oh,
we know. We know.
I've been trying not to mention Phantom Liberty the entire stream. Oh.
I wish Ken was here because Ken played it for the first time this year.
Dude,
And he played it multiple times.
in my opinion, my humble, absolutely correct, unarguable opinion,
Arguable.
I sincerely believe that Phantom Liberty is the greatest spy thriller of all time, even compared to films and any other thing.
And Beyonce had the greatest album of all time. So
I don't even listen to Beyonce, but I do shoot at spies, and Phantom Liberty has my heart for that.
I agree. Like I was telling my buddy that Cyberpunk is arguably, to me, one of the best RPGs I've ever played. But it took a long time to get to where it is.
It did.
But as far as
I
like
remember enjoying
replayability,
it, but it wasn't like once I finished the storyline, I was like,
But
it definitely is an acquired
I
taste.
can see
It's an
why
acquired
a lot of
taste.
people like it though. It's just not like one of those where I can just keep playing.
Yeah,
I have a hard time replaying it because I just recently replayed it as well, and I kept falling off of it. And the reason why I think is because of how negative and morbid the society
it's hard.
of the game
It's
is.
really hard.
It is mentally draining. Like when I played it the first time, I couldn't get enough of it, but playing it the second time, I'm like, oh god,
Like
I got to relive this again.
I gotta see this again, man. This is like
yeah.
And it's not that I don't like it. Like I love it, but the issue, like at the end of the day, when I've worked 15 hours or I've had the kids all day, the last thing I want to do is stumble upon a grotesque murder.
Yeah, some heartbreaking, weird. that checks out. That makes sense. I am
All
a
the
glutton
bitterness.
for it. So, you know,
But
7
on
Which
the
is-
back-to-back
opposite
playthroughs
end, there's
moment.
just
which is probably why I keep going back to Starfield, to be honest with you. And
Mm.
it's just because I can live in that universe. And that's definitely my tism speaking.
I just play RimWorld for
Just-
that.
tiny bit.
Well, I mean, I was discussing this with a buddy at work that there are very few games that I could I'd want to live in. And I was always envious of those guys that could play thousands of hours, if not years, in like Starfield or Starfield, Skyrim, or Fallout.
Hell yes. My
'Cause-
wife is the Skyrim and I'm the Fallout. Let's
See,
go.
and I'm
Because I had a buddy.
that way. Like I can't
had a
do
buddy-
Fallout, but I love Skyrim. But
I
it's
had a
the
buddy
same.
that had like 90 days worth of time. That's I'm getting there with Starfield, so it's not like
Oh, God.
preposterous to me now. But he had 90 days in Fallout 4, and I was like, "Holy shit! Like, who plays a
God.
game that long?" And now that I'm finally in a game where I can do that, I'm like,
Oh God.
I fucking get it.
Guys,
You know what
I
I
have
mean?
a confession to make. So we were on Xbox and we're
I'll
screwing around.
talk about it here in a second, Billy. Just give us a few minutes.
Billy, I'll go fast. We're screwing around on Xbox and comparing each other's playtime stats. And I am at the top of the list out of just about everybody else who's on my friends list for all kinds of games. And Terraria, I have like 100 and something days in it. I have just humiliating numbers on all these games. And Warframe pops up. And we're looking at the Warframe stats, and there's a leaderboard, and I go, "Oh, thank God I'm not first place in Warframe." Oh my God!
Oh my gosh.
I had
We
I
had
remember
that
that
going
episode.
around for a while in the
remember that
GDSS
episode.
spam.
the first place guy had like 70 days in Warframe, and then I looked down at the next person, and my heart sank into my guts because I looked at
was
the
you?
second place, and it was me with 60 days in Warframe. And then I looked at third place, and it was my alt account with 60 days in Warframe. And I was like, ah!
Like, wait a minute.
I mean, 70 days worth of game time is 1,680 hours.
I'm really good at Warframe.
Well, I was just thinking about all those people that are on Steam. They have buku numbers for some of
Hell
their
yeah.
games. And I think the people that want to live in like a specific setting and wants the most out of like modding typically go to PC so it can handle it. But as far as like what I want, my console will do just fine. And I'm buying all those stupid mods again. I actually curated a list of mods through Sheets on my iPhone and my iPad, so I can go through and like know which mods I have in order for my load list. And I've just been going down that list and rebuying them for my Steam Deck.
Oh my God.
Hell yeah.
All right.
5,000 hours in
Rob,
Destiny 1. Let's go!
dude,
You
I
know-
fucking miss Destiny 1. It was such a good game.
Was.
I mean, I still have it. I can go back and replay it, but
Hell yeah.
it's not going to hit the way it did when it was out.
First time I ever fought
I
Orc
hate
Taken
that
King.
feeling.
Man.
Which feeling?
When you want to play a certain game because you just love it, and then you go to play it and you're like, like it just doesn't hit the same. It's like it's
Fable
almost
is that game for
disappointing.
me. Fable is that game for me. Because I mean, I play it every year, and it's still one of those things where I keep going back to replay it, hoping that I can hit the magic that I once did when I played it the first time growing up.
See, there's a certain like demon door right now that I absolutely can't open because I feel like the way that they've remade it made it impossible to do it.
Which one is it?
Your combat multiplier.
I get that every time.
See,
I'm out of the loop. I don't know what's going on.
Well, you should play Fable, Liam.
oh,
Fable?
it's so good.
Oh,
Yeah.
now I remember what the hell a Demon Door is. But the game that
Fable.
just haunts my days is Terraria. Because
like you mentioned.
I've played so much Terraria and that exact high of like, man, first time I ever played this. Whoa, wait, what was it? What was it? Man,
Okay.
Dark Souls. First time you ever
I
played through
lagged out
Dark
there for a
Souls,
second.
that one hit me like crazy.
Yeah, I'm not particularly a Dark Souls fan, but
What do you mean you don't like depression and grief?
I get enough of that from my daily life with my
What do you
PTSD
mean
and
you're
bullshit.
not
I'm fine.
addicted to sleeplessness?
AOD.
Dude, I only
Yo.
get like 3 or 4 hours a night anyway,
Hell.
so it doesn't matter to me.
Hell.
Let's go back a second. Billy asked what the topic was. He was late. Billy, the topic was that Xbox's next UI, the user interface, leaked. And it's speculation that it's going to have Steam because there was a Steam folder up at the top of the UI screen. So the rumor is that Steam's coming to the next gen Xbox, making the next Xbox more PC-like and more open platform. And what I've noticed from the PlayStation crowd is that they're mad that their exclusives will now be on a different system, despite the fact that it's on PC. Which leads me to another thing. Xbox is rumored to be working with Asus for a Microsoft-themed or a handheld.
Ooh.
So there's caveats. It's not going to be native Xbox, which means it's not going to be playing things. It can't go do the backwards compatible games. That's going to be the issue that a lot of people are speculating on. But
So
it may
everything
be,
is new.
yes, to a degree.
Okay.
Which doesn't matter to me because Fable
Yeah, I don't give a
Anniversary I have
fuck.
on Steam as well. And but the cool thing about that is if it runs current games, I will definitely be buying this because for me, I want to be able to pick up the save that I was working on at home when I'm at work.
Yeah, you're out here telling me
For
I
I
get
whatever
remember
to
you
play
reason.
saying
Spore.
that.
You're out here telling me I get to play Spore while driving my car, and you're going to tell me the downside is that there's no no backwards compatibility.
Dude, Spore was one of my favorite fucking games.
Dude,
I still play it once in a while.
If Steam comes to Xbox, I am going to fall down the Spore rabbit hole so hard again.
Well, see, here's the thing. Xbox already, for the most part, allows mouse and keyboard. So Steam is a no-brainer.
That's
Indeed.
one thing that I was thinking about earlier that now you reminded me. Like,
Did you see that? Never mind.
like why get a PC if you can play certain games with mouse and keyboard on your Xbox?
Because
Check
of
this
the
out.
like usability and the ability to do mods and stuff like that. Like there's more use case scenarios for a PC than there is an Xbox or a console.
My wife just got on Steam on her computer
Mhm.
and discovered that if you connect a remote to Steam, this might be Liam
Mhm.
revealing that he lives in a cave, but she started using her Xbox remote with her computer, and Steam automatically switched its entire UI to become console compatible for her remote to use instead of a mouse.
It's the Steam Deck setting. It's
See,
fucking
and that's
awesome.
one thing that I thought it like because you can do that too. So then,
Well, not only that, like my Steam Deck is a full PC. I can plug it into a monitor, hook a mouse and keyboard up to it, and use it as like a normal desktop and everything too. Like the thing with technology right now is that the lines are blurring so much that it's gonna be pointless to simp for a plastic box. And that's the way we're going with society. And the issue that I'm pointing out is that most PlayStation players or most PlayStation vocal guys that are on like YouTube and other places, the ones
PlayStation
that are mad that
simps.
Xbox is getting something are simping for PlayStation and they don't want us to have their games because they think they own the rights and it
Cry
has
about it.
nothing to do with that.
Cry about
Sony's
it.
like, I'm sure Sony's kind of getting to a point where Microsoft is because they're in a position where Microsoft was maybe 5-10 years ago. Xbox is putting their games everywhere, absolutely everywhere. You have Sea of Thieves, you have Forza coming out soon, Indiana Jones. Rumor is Starfield's going to PlayStation. Like, all those games are going to PlayStation, and they were first-party Xbox games. Like, I don't understand the mentality of, oh, I don't want somebody else playing a particular game because they didn't buy the console I bought. Who the fuck cares?
Who cares, Doug? I
Who
don't.
cares?
Maybe that's why I can't wrap my head around it, because I've never cared. I'm like,
That's the
I
thing.
just
Like,
don't.
the people that are console warring are typically around my age. Like, they're the millennials. They're in their late
I'm like a year
30s,
younger than you.
almost 40s. That,
You're old.
but the thing is, like, it's all it's all these old guys that grew up with Sega against Nintendo, Nintendo versus PlayStation, PlayStation versus Xbox. Like, they think to have good competition, that's where you need it. And to be honest with you, I think it's an archaic way of thinking. What they should be worrying about is making good games again.
I got a simple explanation. It's really good. It's really I think it's good because I made it up. But PC is like a Stanley Cup. PlayStation is like the Pepsi glass or the Coca-Cola glass, and Xbox is a bucket. And the PC player will spend a lot of money and get something that's very nice and does the job very well and does what they need it to do very, very well. It is a status symbol to have an excellent looking gaming PC. You show it off, you go, check this out. This is new. It's amazing. PlayStation, you get that Pepsi bottle, Pepsi glass, and they go, you can't put Coca-Cola in a Pepsi glass. It doesn't taste as good if it's not the right thing in my glass. Microsoft, you get on that Xbox, you get that bucket out, you pour your Pepsi in it, you pour your Dr. Pepper in it, you pour your Coca-Cola in it, you pour your Sprite in it, and you chug that shit because it works. Everything works on an Xbox. It's ugly, it's dumb, it's cheap, it's everything that gaming should be, because you're not buying the console, you're buying the game. And Xbox is about games. PlayStation is about PlayStation.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest issue now. I mean, I think we had the discussion last episode as well, how I think the consoles aren't the biggest issue with the modern industry. It is the fact that these companies are making games for everyone. So in a sense, they're making games for no one, and
Hell yeah.
the games are coming
Helldivers
out
movement.
shit because they don't have a specific audience.
Take a
Yeah.
Citizen Sleeper, for instance.
Love Citizen Sleeper. That was on Game
it's-
Pass. I played that shit day one. They have a
It's
second
not
one
fun.
coming out, by the way.
It's not
I
fun.
loved it.
It's not
I thought it was
exciting.
great.
It's not an enjoyable game.
Oh,
It's beautiful.
you're making our point here.
It's beautiful.
I see
Citizen
where he's
Sleeper made me cry. And it's boring as hell. It's literally just reading and picking which number you use for a situation. But you get to tell a story and live through a story and experience that's so good. You have you both played Citizen Sleeper?
No.
I have.
Okay.
Never played a Citizen game at all.
I cooked spicy mushrooms the other day just to remind myself of how beautiful that aspect of the story is.
Citizen Sleeper is definitely. I mean, as for the majority of games, they all have scratch an itch for somebody.
Yes.
And Citizen Sleeper was definitely one of those games. Star Trucker is one of those games for me. Like,
Oh my god.
I fucking love Star Trucker. And I was talking to someone. I think I was actually talking to Billy off air one day, and I told them I was looking at buying an Intel NUC, which is a small compact computer. And the reason why is to play just one specific game. And it is
Pikmin 3.
Elite Dangerous.
Oh.
because I absolutely love Elite Dangerous, but the issue is I preferred playing it on the big ass TV I have, sitting back in my armchair with a controller.
Well, it's space. You got to
And
look at space.
yeah, exactly. And with the big ass TV I have, I could it feels like I'm in the cockpit. That's how big my fucking screen is. Like sitting here, it feels like I'm in my ship. I'm fucking flying. That is amazing to me. But the issue being is when they cut console content and they stopped supporting the console, it meant I had to go to PC. And I can play Elite Dangerous on my Steam Deck, but it is not the same. That's not how I want to experience that game.
Yeah.
And I can hook the Steam Deck up to my computer or up to my TV, but the issue is the resolution doesn't compare. It's a 75-inch, the maximum that a Steam Deck will.
Jay
Damn it,
said he liked
Nacho.
that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All my gamers like cock. I mean,
Cockpit.
no,
but
the thing is,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not the way I want to experience, and the way that I would have to, I don't have the ability to.
it's like serving soup on a plate. There's nothing wrong with the soup, but you're not supposed to eat soup out of a plate.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And with this news about Xbox potentially releasing a console that allows you to play Steam games, my hopes of being able to play Elite basically on my console and TV again seems closer than it sounds. So maybe I'll wait until I find out more about this next console before I decide to spend $800-900
Well, just
on
just
a
imagine
Yeah.
the potential
PC.
if it's got Steam VR compatibility, it'll open
Oh.
everything up.
I already know which game I want to play with that.
Subnautica.
That would be a good one, but no.
My wife is currently playing Subnautica VR, probably as we speak upstairs. And let me tell you, the gut-wrenching, spine-shattering horror of a Reaper Leviathan grabbing you in VR is the most instantly brain-damaging experience in gaming, and I love it.
No, the game I
No.
would really want to play is Star Wars Squadrons.
Ooh.
Listening to the sound of
I'm
that TIE fighter in
so
VR and like
surprised.
experiencing it. Ugh. I mean, Elite Dangerous, yeah, cool. But I want to
Fucking
fly a TIE
nerd.
fighter, man. I want to fly a fucking TIE fighter.
Dude, space. I don't know, man.
I have no
This is
room to
cool,
dog
cool.
because that would be me with Hogwarts in a second.
I want Minecraft
I mean,
VR.
or Fallout VR.
Ooh.
Or
Oh my
Skyrim
gosh, I
VR.
didn't even think about that. Fallout 4 VR. Oh my gosh.
That sounds terrifying. I'm good.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Dude,
good
I
on
get
It
that.
get
sounds so
killed
fun.
by a death claw in first person. Did you hear my voice crack?
You're just
Oh,
so
yeah.
excited.
Feral cool moment.
I am excited for the potential that the gaming industry is going when it comes to hardware, but I am not when it comes to games at the moment.
No.
Yeah. My wife and I are waiting for Subnautica 2 to come out because she says Subnautica's not a horror game and it doesn't scare her at all. I am hard pressed to not shit my pants just from booting the game up.
I was gonna
So
say, wait until she. Oh, do you
the fact that
do you
they're
have
putting
that fear of
multiplayer
the
in it,
ocean?
thalassophobia. I have the most crippling thalassophobia. I cannot watch YouTube videos of Subnautica.
Mm.
But because it has multiplayer, I have no excuse to not play with her. And so I am going to be, in her words, I'm going to be riding around in her little baby harness on her chest,
Mhm.
screaming while she
Nacho,
plays the game.
Nacho, are you talking about the console or Subnautica?
2027,
Subnautica.
2028.
Because
Yeah,
rumor is the
it's
new console will come out in 27.
it's the Subnautica 2 release. Someone posted it in the GDSS
Okay.
Discord.
The handheld is potentially releasing this year, which I'm
Ooh.
excited for.
What does anybody know what's going to be called?
No,
I just like calling my
X-Pad.
Xbox the X-Bone.
the Xbone. I mean, they already have the backbone for your phone. Yeah, it's a controller that like slides onto your phone and you play it that way.
Oh, I was like,
Microsoft's
the
new
what?
console, the Micro
I have
Hard.
one. It doesn't work. That'd be great.
Micro-
I was just really like confused. I'm like, the what? How does the
Mike-
phone have a backbone?
The X fuckery.
Oh God.
Love Xbox. I really do. I think they're just really consumer friendly, and that's why I keep going for it.
well, I mean,
The X hole.
stupid PlayStation doesn't even have letters on their buttons. How else am I going to learn the alphabet?
I know A, B, X, and Y.
Oh boy. Okay.
I can count to
Oh,
10.
My favorite letter
Okay.
is LT.
I do have one more story, and it actually it has more to do with
We
the
don't need the
current
ABCs.
regime that we have. And I generally don't like to talk about politics, but when it has something to do with a video game, I think I'll bring it up.
Video James.
This was interesting to me. The United Nations asked Helldivers 2's studio, Arrowhead, if it'd give a talk on psychological manipulation. Quote, could we brainwash an entire community to fight for a fascist state? Would we be okay with that? Turns out, yeah.
It's the EU. They already did.
Well, I mean, it's not just that. Here's the big thing about that. Helldivers 2, if you haven't played, it's very fascist. You're fighting for your country, blah blah blah. And let's read the first article. If you played Helldivers 2 for more than about 15 seconds, you're probably well acquainted with the game's wry sense of humor. ALOS Starship Troopers, the game sees players dying in droves as disposable soldiers in the name of a theoretical democratic utopia. Not that they'd ever see it, as they're all too busy getting torn apart by giant bugs and landing supply drops on each other's heads. In a talk at 2025's Game Developer Conference titled Helldivers 2 Capturing Lightning in a Bottle, Arrowhead CEO Johan Palestat, listen, I'm gonna butcher
it's
names.
Hallstatt.
If no, it's
Just one dude.
Pilested. If I butcher names, don't hold it personal. I respect you guys. Reiterated for everyone out of the loop that yes, the game is meant to be ironic, and the fight for Super Earth was always meant to paint players as dispensable henchmen. What is Helldivers 2 fundamentally, he says? It would probably be fun to play a co-op action shooter where you're put in the shoes of the evil side's grunts of pop culture. How many seconds would you be able to survive? If you're interested in reading the rest of this article, it's by Justin Wagner over at PC Gamer. I generally don't like to look at PC Gamer just because their stories are a little over the place. And it was published on March 19th, 2025. And it's funny because it goes with the same sense that people that watch Super Troopers, they're like, or not Super Troopers, Starship Troopers.
I was like,
Hell yes.
They're always like,
like this went way over there. Continue.
Give me one. If you watch Starship Troopers, everybody's like, "Oh, I want to be that guy fighting the bug," and
Yeah.
you really don't. But it makes you want to, and that's the power of video gaming, is it makes you want something.
So I study psychology and focus on the psychological aspects of gaming almost more than the games itself. So this is something I'm fairly especially focused on in my life, and it's vicarious excitement without the negatives. And so the reason that it actually works in real life almost exactly the same way as it works in a game is because people in both real life and a game want to believe in the exciting and utopian future. People want to swallow the lie of whatever it is. And, some people have different lies, some people have different fantasies. It's, there's whatever. But the reason that something like that sells so well, of like, hell yeah, I'm going to die for managed democracy. The reason people fall for it is because it's inherent. People want to die for something that they can value. And so all a dictatorship has to do, all some tyrannical regime has to do, is tell you that if you help, you will be serving something that's good. And the average person just believes it. That's just how it works.
Mhm.
Everybody
it's a damn
believes
shame,
it.
I'll tell
It's
you
just
that.
What'd you say?
It's a damn shame because the reason why it was mentioned is because of the regime that we're experiencing right now with the Trump administration.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Billy, if you're listening, what link do you want? I sent you a message in Discord.
All
right, continue. Sorry, Liam.
Right now too.
I didn't mean to bother you.
The primary danger in think about it.
Oh, for the article I referenced. Yeah, I'll send you that
Yeah.
link. Sorry, bud.
The primary danger in that idealism thing is that it's so easy. It's natural for human beings to dehumanize people who disagree with them.
Oh yeah.
The Holocaust Museum, I don't mean to go 100% dark, but we did go to why is Helldivers cool in fiction but not in real life. The Holocaust Museum was built to establish the fact that all human beings are inherently actively and directly led towards creating atrocities, just like what happened. And in order to prevent it, you have to acknowledge your own tendency to do it. And the thing about those exciting futures and those utopias is that the idea that I, Liam, am potentially the monster that I'm fighting is a scary one. It's a very painful thing to come to grips with. And so when something can tell you, no, the other guy is the monster, the other guy is the tyrant, they are the insert whatever bad word. In Helldivers, my favorite one is the communist robots, or the what are they? What do they call the Illuminate?
No idea. I never played.
Doesn't matter. People with different beliefs than you are angry, evil, delusional people. And it's really easy to fall for that because it's the natural state of humans to assume that your own position is right and the other people's position is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think
I just think it was funny that like that article came up and that was right after like I want to say that there was a group text with the president and his staff about talking about war plans, and they included a reporter in the mix. Like, I just don't know what the hell's going on with this country right now, and it sucks.
It is,
and I'm trying to stay away from politics with our podcast.
Yeah. But it's really simple.
There's some parallels in video games right now happening, and I don't like it.
And that's the thing is like that's what I was thinking of. Is it's amazing how something as big as politics can simmer down to something as small as what you play on.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
It's the same kind of behavior.
I can actually tie this all up in one united idea that'll make it fit together. So there's a concept called Hanlon's razor, and it means never attribute to malice what can easily be attributed to stupidity. And the idea is is someone rubbing lotion on their hands like a crazy person and petting a cat in a giant swirly chair and plotting to end the world? Somebody is, but most people are just dumb. Most people are just going along with some dumb thing.
Maybe I just want to put lotion on my hand and rub a cat.
In gaming, in politics, in world history, it is almost always at least one or two bad people behind the scenes and just a bunch of people who aren't paying any attention. And that's why you end up with with the gaming industry generally being just kind of meh, because people
Mhm.
are just making something. It's like, oh, I'll make more slop because this is evidently what's selling. The most of the problem in politics and in the gaming industry and in industry in general is just that people aren't paying attention.
Mhm.
God forbid.
And those of us
yeah.
that are called woke or against being woke, and that's not the case. I just want
Or
my
a
games to
bigot.
be good again.
Or a bigot or a racist or some other
And
nonsense.
that's the furthest from the truth. I'm just noticing things that like, because there are definitely like themes that have been in games before that never really made a difference until it was forced down my throat.
I just want my game to be fun. What are we
I don't
doing?
want to play
Exactly.
games.
I'm not playing a game to have a social instruction.
Chekhov's
You
gun.
know what I mean?
Chekhov's gun is the simplest answer to the whole problem.
Hmm.
If what you are concerned with is plot relevant and has something to do with the story, think about it.
Mm-hmm.
If the plot would be different if this variable wasn't here, then the variable matters. But if the variable doesn't affect the plot, it shouldn't be in the game.
No. Mm-mm.
It shouldn't be in the story. I
I can understand things being in there for role playing sake, such as a game like Cyberpunk or
Yeah.
Starfield or Skyrim. Like, cool, you're trying to create a believable
building.
world. That's fine.
Yeah.
But in a game that has a strong narrative driven aspect to it, and they incorporate relationships in it, like maybe you shouldn't have. Like I was recently playing Avowed,
I was about to bring up how good Avowed is
and
for this.
I really like Avowed, and you find out the sexuality of some of the characters during some of their like side missions, such as God, what's the fish guy's name, Liam?
Oh, Kai.
Kai. Kai is gay, and you know what? Never would have
Is
guessed that
it
playing it.
prevalent to the storyline?
It isn't. He wants to go like, hey, we're already in this area. Do you mind if we go do this thing?
Yeah.
Like he's very polite about it. He's a person. Like he's like, I know we have to save the land,
That's it.
but if we're
That's
in
the
this
key.
area, can we go? And you're like, yeah, sure, why not? You know what I mean? But it's not something that makes or forces the character into a situation that it might make the player feel uncomfortable with.
He's a person. That's the key. That is the
Mm-hmm.
exact key. He is a character who has a life, who does things.
Whereas in Dragon
Coincidentally,
Age,
hidden somewhere in those little details,
you
also
find out
he likes
Yeah.
wieners.
who cares? Who cares at that point? However, in the premise I'm bringing up is in Dragon Age, they basically lecture you about being a bad human, and it's basically there to target the player,
Yeah.
not the character. And they're both written in different styles, and one is more attacking, and one is more like, hey, matter of fact, like this is just in the world,
Yeah, it's just here.
and it's lore. It's like lore accurate within the Pillars of Eternity universe. Like it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's like what I was saying about I don't know if I've said it here. With Dragon Age, it made me feel like they were trying to lecture me on something that I didn't care. Like it's not that I don't care, but they're trying to lecture me in a way that is more modern as well. Because in Dragon Age, if any of you have played Dragon Age, there has been a trans character in the past in Dragon Age. Like, I think it's Dragon Age 1. One of the characters is trans, and it is explained using in-game lore. Such as like there was a ceremony, there was a ritual, there was something to actually explain what happened. You know? And they don't use I don't remember him saying that he was transsexual because it wasn't it's not a word that exists. You know what I mean?
It's not.
in drag let me finish. In Veilguard, there is a character, Tosh, that is non-binary, and they go out and say non-binary. And my issue isn't the fact that she's non-binary. I could care less. The
It's not
issue
of the
is that
time.
it doesn't fit the genre. Non-binary itself as a term, binary is a term used for coding, computers, things that don't exist in this world.
Just to point something out, in the medieval era, in specifically the early medieval era, zero hadn't been invented yet. The number, it was
I'm sure the
invented in
concept
the East.
didn't exist.
Like in Eastern, it was in India and in the what people call the Islamic Golden Age. They happened upon the idea of a placeholder number of 0. In a lot of Western areas and in Northern Africa and in places like that, they're still using the notch system, where they would use etched numbers as in like tallies and things, and there was no concept of 0. So to say non-binary is to break so much about the story that it just completely, I'm speechless at that one.
See, that's what I'm saying, is like they were using terms that have no place in a world where you can heal yourself drinking a potion.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people complained about like top scarring in the character creator, and I could care less. But again, doesn't make sense in the world. In a world where you can drink a potion and heal a wound. It takes me out of the game. And I can understand wanting to be represented in a game. For decades, you've been able to create a character, for the most part, where you can create who you want to be. Looks, clothes, it doesn't matter.
You can create what you want to be.
And I can understand wanting it to look like me. But at a certain point, like, you have to understand, like, does this make sense in my world? It's a fantasy genre.
It's one of my favorite games, are the games that don't have character creators. Master Chief. Dude. Gordon Freeman, before they revealed his face in Half-Life 2. You have, like... I'm not, I don't care who I am. I care what I do. That's the problem with so many of these issues in games and in real life, is that people make it about who or what you are instead of what you do and why you do it. And
I mean, in a sense, like in a world like Cyberpunk, shit like that makes sense. Like, it has to fit the setting.
In Cyberpunk, it's a very specific. It's interesting that one's brought up, because in Cyberpunk there is exactly one plot relevant way of seeing things, until you have Johnny Silverhand, until you have the relic chip. But in the Cyberpunk universe, there is human or not human.
Yeah.
There is cyberpsychosis. And ultimately, cyberpsychosis, again, almost exclusively comes back to your choices. Who gives what kind of person you are? Who gives the slightest shit? You could be a man, you could be a woman, you could be both at the same time, you could be neither. You could be Adam Smasher switching into a weird porn body every once in a while. The problem is when you give up on what you do in favor of too many mods, in favor of too many augmentations, and you lose your humanity and become a cyber psycho.
I think Cyberpunk does something really well, and it is how... Now, this is loose, but as far as like how people see each other, I think Cyberpunk is more what I think society should be. Like, they don't care what you are, who you are, it's how you are.
Yeah.
Like, I like that they say input and output.
Yeah, that's funny too. But I'm just like, I wish the shit that plagues society right now just went away. Because I know it wouldn't make anybody interesting, but I'd be a hell of a lot less stressed.
Oh God, yeah.
One of my favorite lines, and it's something that was very formative to me as a little kid. It's anybody seen the movie Robots?
Love robots
With
Robin Williams
Robin,
and
yeah.
and Ewan McGregor.
Yep.
Ah,
The
my
line
baby.
that is one of the biggest morals in that movie has stuck with me forever, and it's effectively the same moral as in the Lara Croft series.
Hmm.
And in Robots, it's you can shine no matter what you're made of.
Yeah.
And in Lara Croft, it's it matters not who you are, it matters what you do.
Yeah, and
And
too
the
many.
idea
I think people are worrying about what they are versus
the idea that a
what
person
they
is
are.
born with all of their options predetermined is what leads to the tyranny of the caste system
Mhm.
in India. It's what leads to zero class mobility in societies where people have no hope of ever
Mhm.
escaping from their situation. And it's why open worlders like Fallout and Starfield and things like that have so much weight. It's why they mean so much, because
That's why I keep going back to replay them.
life is not about what you are. Life is about the mark that you make on the world with your actions and with the way that you treat others. And so many games. That's why I love Prey so much.
Love
Because
Prey. It was good.
Prey, you aren't even you. Who you are as Morgan is irrelevant in the entire story. And the game points out directly, literally on the nose, hey, this game's not about who you are. It's about what you did and why you did it.
Mhm.
And I like games like that. I don't like games where it tells you like you're a good person because X or you're a bad person because X. It's did you shoot the innocent person or did you not?
Philosophy aside, we're getting close to the end, and I wanna let you know that the reason why I keep going back to Fallout 4 is just so I can build my own Slocum Joes.
I love building in Fallout 4.
That was my favorite bit of like Creation Club content, was the ability to build your own Slocum Joes, and I build one in every settlement, just like Massachusetts, Dunkin' on every corner.
Oh my God.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to be on the show, please hit me up, the Giga Gamer Dad, on Discord, YouTube, and Twitter, or anywhere else you can find me. My name is the same across the board. You can also find me on Steam if you want to hit me up there. Panda, where can they find you?
Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, DC the Trash Panda, and YouTube.
It's all right. They can find you on my channel. And Liam, I know you said before you're Liam Patton everywhere.
I'm Liam
Right?
Patton everywhere. And I have a YouTube channel, and now that I have access to a good computer, I will be probably putting some nonsense and upsetting things on there. So if you are interested in nonsense and upsetting things, then give it a shot. There's nothing there yet.
I mean,
Don't get your hopes up.
I get it now when you're on the show, so I think I'm good.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm talking about them that want to mainline the Liam yelling.
Mainline the raving, huh?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out. Look forward to seeing you next time.